What is going on, guys? In this video today, I'm going to be going over 5 different tips that I believe will make you guys smarter Fortnite players, and that will obviously ultimately also make you guys better Fortnite players. I love doing these types of videos because, as I discussed in the 4 ways to become a great Fortnite player video, it's really hard to teach gun skill. It's pretty hard to teach a lot of aspects of building, but IQ, which is what this video deals with, it's really possible for me to make a strong impact in your guys' games by just giving you guys a few tips. So hopefully this video will accomplish that. Enough talking, let's get into tip number 1. So the first tip that we're going to be going over in this video today is hands down the simplest and easiest tip of all 5 to complete. I seriously believe I could hand the controller to like a toddler and tell them to do what I'm about to tell you guys to do, and they'd be able to do it flawlessly. But for how easy it is, you'd be surprised how much of an advantage it could give you and how few people do it. About to land, when you jump out of the battle bus, about 2 to 3 seconds before your feet hit, the roof of the building you're landing on, or the floor of the building you're landing on, or the window you're going in through, to simply do a quick 360 or 2 around, take a look at where everyone is landing in the same town as you. If they're landing far away, if multiple people are landing in the same building, if they're landing in the same building as you, it is such a simple tip that you would be shocked how few people actually do this. But I seriously go and watch Fortnite streams all the time of bad players, decent players, even some really good players that just constantly are not checking their surroundings as they're landing. And if you're questioning the importance of this, let's just think of a hypothetical area that you're going to land in. Let's say Greasy Grove or Pleasant Park or any area that you typically land in. Are you going to play the same way if 1 enemy is landing in your town compared to if 12 enemies are landing in your town? I hope your answer is no to that question because, well, if you aren't, then that's a whole nother problem. But it's really simple town compared to if there's like 10 to 15 people landing in your town. And my follow-up question to those of you landing in your town as you're about to land is, how the heck do you expect to know if there's only 1 guy landing in your town, 5 people landing in your town, or even 20? Surroundings, because if you play a Greasy Grove or a Pleasant Park like there's only 1 guy and there actually happens to be 15 enemies landing with you, well then you're going to take your sweet old time looting like every single weapon, ammo, and chest spawn in your starting house, and before you even have a chance to walk out the front door, you're going to get rushed by a team of 3 or 4 people, and unless you're an absolute god, die pretty much every single time. So this tip, even though it's incredibly simple, 15 enemies landing with you're about to land, is how the heck do you expect to know if there's only 1 guy landing in your town, 5 people landing in your town, or even 15 to 20 people landing in your town? It's super important to check your surroundings, because if you play a Greasy Grove or a Pleasant Park like there's only 1 guy and there actually happens to be 15 enemies landing with you, well then you're going to take your sweet old time looting like every single weapon, ammo, and chest spawn in your starting house, and before you even have a chance to walk out the front door, you're going to get rushed by a team of 3 or 4 people, and unless you're an absolute god, die pretty much every single time. So this tip, even though it's incredibly simple, is super important to do. For those of you guys that are already doing it, just know it puts you at an insane advantage in the flukiest part of a Fortnite game, which is the beginning. And if you aren't doing it, it's so simple that you should be ashamed if it's something you don't incorporate into your game after watching this video. So that covers tip number 1. Let's get into tip number 2. So tip number 2 is actually like a 2-for-1 tip, so I guess there's technically only 4 tips, even though it's really like 5. I don't know. Let's just get into it. So tip number 2 is going to cover the idea of basically keeping a constant UAV going in your head when you get into any kind of chaotic fight with multiple people shooting at you from multiple different angles on multiple different teams. And it's just in general a super chaotic situation where you almost feel like there's no way to track every single person in the fight. If you are able to get to a point, which I personally believe I'm at, and I personally believe a lot of top players are at, where you can keep kind of like this mental count going in your head during these chaotic fights of where every single is going to help you so much. informed decisions in terms of pushing, firing at people, building yourself into a player, maybe retreating back, switching to your shotgun, all of those small little things which can make you better in chaotic fights. If you're able to keep a constant count of where every single
oh shit, my bad.
Come on, man.
This is kind of hard to do at first, but once you get used to it,
Oh, you want here? Have the big shield.
Your game. I'm going to give you an example of one of my friends who is horrible at this and how it hurts him pretty much every single game we play. I always see situations, and I'll just throw out a hypothetical one right now, where let's say there's a team of 2 in front of him and a team of 2 behind him.
Oh, the people right here?
So it's not like 5 people are all firing at him. He's in a comfortable situation to where he can build like a 1-by-1 and shoot at both teams. And let's just say from the team of 2, he makes one of those guys. Now what he's going to do, and why, and it's such a low IQ play, is he's just going to jump down from the safety pin 1-by-1 and just run like a chicken with his head cut off straight at this player he made weak. If you're wondering what the mistake there is, well, not only did he push into a
Fuck.
Ah, come on.
Mistake. But also, that team of 3 that's in, he's just gonna jump down it up. So it's not like 5 people. But once you get all of those small little things which can make you better in chaotic fights, if you're able to keep a constant count of where every single enemy is at, you'll be able to make much smarter decisions in situations where people aren't used to making smart decisions at all because it's just total chaos. This is kind of hard to do at first, but once you get used to it, you will see an instant improvement in your game. I'm going to give you an example of one of my friends who is horrible this and how it hurts pretty much every single game we play. I always see situations, and I'll just throw out a hypothetical one right now, where let's say there's a team of 2 in front of him and a team of 2 behind him. You know, we're squatted up, so it's not like 5 people are all firing at him. He's in a comfortable situation where he can build like a 1-by-1 and shoot at both teams. And let's just say from the team of 2, he makes one of those guys incredibly weak. Now what he's going to do, and he does it every time, and I have no clue why, and it's such a low IQ play, is he's just going to jump down from the safety of his 1-by-1 and just run like a chicken with its head cut off straight at this player he made weak. If you're wondering what the mistake there is, well, not only is he pushing to a team of 2, which is first off a mistake, but also that team of 3 that's in front of him that's probably waiting on someone stupid to do exactly what he just did and jump down into the open. Even though he's not pushing them, they still see an opportunity for a kill, so they are just going to absolutely light him up. And that small, like, second or 2 laps of judgment, where he just forgot where everyone was and didn't take any time to think about it before he was about to be smart. It's either going to get him killed, which happens most of the time, or he's going to lose like 150 health, which in Fortnite is a pretty bad best case scenario. So that's an example of a low IQ play that constantly happens if you're not tracking opponents and using that tracking in your head to make informed and smart decisions upon enemies. So if you eliminate those low IQ plays from the game, you'll see an instant improvement in your Fortnite IQ. And just in general, how good you are as a Fortnite player. Moving on to tip number 3, and I personally believe this is the most important tip in the entire video, so definitely pay close attention. We're going to have a discussion on learning when to fight in Fortnite, and even more importantly, learning how to fight in Fortnite. Learning when to fight, I feel like that's something that generally most people know and pick up pretty quickly in the game. You know, obviously you want to push people when you're on like a mountain and have the high ground over them. Obviously if you see like 2 teams fighting it out, you don't want to step in until both of them are really, really weak. And if you guys can eliminate on both sides so your team can just, you know, kind of swoop in and kill the remaining. But learning when not to fight, I feel like that is even more important in Fortnite. And that is mostly what tip number 4 is going Now, one of the things I absolutely love most about Fortnite compared to a game like Call of Duty,
Hello?
you always have the option to either fight or run away. In Call of Duty, which I know a lot of you guys
Oh, I have the new launch pad thing. Thingamajigger.
If you see a guy coming open, there's no running away. You die in like 2 or 3 bullets in Call of Duty, so if you decide not to engage in that fight, unless the worst aim in the world, you're gonna die every single time. In Fortnite, with all the shield and the base 100 health and the weapons, all the attack that don't really do a ton of damage, like in every single fight, with building especially, have an opportunity to disengage basically whenever you want if you're a good builder. And this is something that I feel people really struggle to learn when they're new to the game, because of games like Call of Duty where you die so fast and it's not fight or flight, it's fight or die pretty much. I will give you guys an example that happens to me all the time. You know, I'm in a shotgun fight on the ground, maybe tilted, maybe greasy, maybe just the middle of a field somewhere, and I get absolutely crap.
What do you mean?
120 damage, and maybe I only hit them for 40 or 50. So I just went from, let's say, you know, 200 health to 80 health in a flash before I can even react. What a lot of bad players will do in this situation is they'll see that they hit for 40 or 50, and they'll just hope they can land another shotgun fight before their enemy lands another shotgun fight. And yeah, you'll maybe win these fights, you know, 30 to 50% of the time, but it's not a way to consistently get kills without dying. What a smart player will do, and what I would personally do, would be build myself out of there, up into a box, or just build some kind of structure where I can hide in the corner and won't be found, heal up, whether it be with band-aids, a med kit, small shields are best for this, but even things like big shields, which take a few more seconds to use, or even a chug jug, will work perfectly because you're hiding away, your enemy doesn't know where you are, and you can basically get back to full health or as close as possible to it. And then what happens is you've basically been hearing your enemy's footsteps the entire time, they don't know where you are, you're back to full health, you can get up onto high ground, ramp up to them, re-engage in the fight, and probably win it because you healed up, they didn't, and now you have high ground and they don't. That is a perfect example of how learning how not to fight and to disengage and re-engage in fights can make you a much, much better Fortnite player. And in my opinion, that is the most important thing to take away from this video. So definitely incorporate it in your game, learn when to fight, learn when not to fight, and it'll make you so much better at Fortnite. So the final tip I have for you guys today, and this video is actually running much longer than I anticipated, so I'm going to try to make it quick, is learning how to use the bus path and the storm to predict where enemies are going to come from. The storm, you guys may know, that one's a little more simple. You know, it seems like a simple enough concept. You know, if the storm's coming in from the east to the west, and it's taking away parts of the map like Retail Row, Dusty Divot, maybe Tilted Towers, you know, the really populated areas of the map, you're going to want to know that most of the people that were sitting in those areas are now going to have to run away from the storm, run from east to west, and you can use that to properly position yourself to get a lot of kills, or avoid those engagements if you don't want to get into them.
What do
but
you
the
mean?
bus path is something else that I feel a lot of people put a lot less emphasis on.
Hey, are you lit? Are you dead yet?
And I believe the bus path off the rip of the game is just as good, if not a better indicator than the storm of where people are generally going to be crowded together and pushing from on the Fortnite map. So let's just think of a hypothetical bus path, and I don't even know if this is possible, so don't like hold me to it, of one that goes directly over Pleasant Park, right next to Anarchy Acres, right through Tomato Town, right through Wailing Woods, while at the same time is really far away from places like Greasy Grove, Salty Springs, Fatal Fields, Moisty Mire. It may seem like a really simple concept, but it's super important to recognize that those towns where the bus is going directly over or right next to, for that specific game, is most likely going to be super overpopulated, while the towns that the bus path is really far away from, like Greasy Grove, in the example that I gave, is going to be super underpopulated. So you can use that information, obviously, to your benefit. If you want high kill games, you know, land somewhere like Pleasant Park for that game. Or if you're still going to land Tilted, because that's always going to be super populated, you should know, don't go south, you should go north to where the bus went right over. If you're someone that, you know, just cares about wins, you don't care how many kills you get, maybe you'll be interested in landing in Greasy, where you know not a lot of people are going to land, and avoiding the north area of the map for as long as possible, because you know that's where the most chaos is going to be going on. It's super important to, like, mark the bus path in the beginning of the game, or just memorize.
Okay, I'm gonna go through here to the C-Div or the pencil.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Hannah Dickinson, and I'm here hanging and banging at Clusterfest. I'm just looking for good food, fun times, and creative ways to disappoint my parents. Hey, what's up? I'm here with Ben. I actually slept with a Ben last year who never called me back. So why don't you set it?
Did you tell him your real name, or did you use the fake name that you told me just before we started filming this?
And what name was that?
Bobus?
So are you single? What's up?
I am not single.
What do you do?
Finance for a tech company.
No, that sounds great for me. How much money do you make a year?
Ooh, I can't count that high, honestly.
Are you single?
No.
You guys, we need to screen these people before we talk to them. And are you single? What's happening?
No.
What does your girlfriend do?
I'm not straight.
Oh, what's up, Steph?
Hungover?
Are you dating anyone?
No.
That is a yes. Are there any comedians here you want to make out with?
A few. Are they gonna watch this? I don't want to say the name.
Jon Stewart?
No, Nicole.
He's definitely not watching this.
Yeah, no.
I'm here with very funny comedian Ali Sadiq. How are you doing?
I'm doing back.
Ooh, that's nice.
I'm gonna say a bunch of weird stuff tonight.
What do you consider weird stuff? Because I say a lot of weird shit.
Like, I don't like having sex with pregnant women.
I don't think that's weird. I think that might be a universal. I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
There's a lot of men who like sleeping with pregnant women.
Well, I look pregnant after a full meal, so like that's not a turn on for me.
No, I would have sex with a slightly full woman. That means we've eaten, and now we're trying to exercise.
Have you guys ever had a threesome?
No. Yeah, no.
That was like a nervous one. Like you have definitely like fallen into one. I've been kicked out of a threesome. It's a long story. I'm actually here with Action Bronson.
My name's Rusty.
So what do you do for a living?
I'm retired.
What did you do before?
I actually was a cook.
Does chef mean you deal drugs?
I'm on drugs.
Are you single or what's happening?
Very single.
That sounds like an invitation for me. Do you both work in tech?
I work 100% in tech.
You look like a guy who works in tech. How much money do you guys make?
I make tech money.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. I make digital money.
You have to live in San Francisco.
Oh, all right. What about you?
I don't make tech money.
What do you do? Are you a barista?
No, I'm a little bit better than that.
Urban Outfitter. What do you do?
I work for the city.
That's worse than Urban Outfitter. Where's your girlfriend? I don't see her.
She goes to a different school.
How long have you guys been together?
What time is it?
Oh, is that my window?
You might have a little window of opportunity here.
I mean, girls' revenge is always the worst. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking to get chopped up into little pieces. You guys have sunscreen on? I can tell you're a ginger. You might need it.
I don't know.
What part of your body would you like to be rubbed out? Or, I mean, protected. Sorry.
Just my neck and arms for now, so I can recover otherwise.
All right. Can we get some, really good with my hands. I don't know. Weird. You want to try to pick me up? Why is it better?
Very similar to a tip I gave in the How to Win Solos video. That's the idea of the importance of the edge of the circle. Now, we all know most of the time the most action is going to be in the very middle of the safe spot where the storm is not coming in. But that is not always the case. Obviously, if there's like a town or a big mountain near the middle, that's where people are going to flock to, and that's where you're going to want to check for people. But if it's an area or a circle that's really a bunch of nothing, which happens all the time, you know, maybe a few houses, maybe a small mountain, you're most likely going to see the majority of people flocking to the edge of the circle. Because most people play Fortnite for wins, and as I said in the video, the best way to not die and ultimately give yourself the best chance to win is to camp that edge of the circle. So that's how you're going to have to find people. You're going to have to go after those people sitting in 1x1s at the edge of the circle. And the good thing about that is those guys are the people that build up a lot of materials for you, have really good loot, identify themselves with buildings, And most importantly, they're probably going to be pretty easy to kill because the great players are going to be going for high kills, while the decent to just pretty good players are going to be really playing their life, playing passive, and sitting at the edge of the storm. So if you can't find people in the middle, there's no point of interest in the middle of the circle. Go straight to the edge, and that's probably where you'll find the most people. The fourth tip I have for you guys in this video today is a very important one, and it's one that you're really going to have to understand to get high kill solo games. It's the idea of getting through fights quickly and confirming kills quickly, but also valuing your life and not playing stupid. You don't want to be either one of the extremes when it comes to this. You don't want to be a guy who sits on a hill because you see someone camping in a house and you're going to wait there no matter how long it takes for him to get out to confirm that kill without risking a death. That's going to get you very few kills. On the other extreme end of the spectrum, you have a person that will push any gunfight like a chicken with his head cut off. You'll probably get a lot of quick kills this way, but you're also going to get a lot of quick deaths, and obviously, you can't add to your kill count if you're dead. I usually see these as the type of people that clear out Tilted right away, have 5 or 6 kills before 20 people are dead in the game, but just always seem to struggle with dying at that 50 or 60 people left alive mark because they keep playing reckless, built on, and out high grounded, and pump to the face or AR down to their death. So you have to find a healthy balance between being able to get through kills quick and also valuing your life and not just being a death sacrifice every real fight you get into. It's something that's going to take a while of playing, especially solos going for high kills, because it's not something you're just going to be able to pick up from a video or pick up after 1 or 2 games. You got to get out there, get in certain situations, gauge when you should play a little more passive versus a little more aggressive, and you'll figure it out after playing. The final quick tip I want to go over in this video today is the launch pad, probably the most important tool when it comes to getting high kill solo games. When it comes to getting high kill solo games, there are 2 ways you should be using a launch pad, and 1 way you should definitely not be using a launch pad. The way you should not be using it is to get away from the storm and get into the new circle. Obviously that's viable in certain situations when it's either life or death, but that is a waste of a launch pad because it will not end up getting any kills. You should just rotate early, get ahead of the storm so you don't have to waste your launch pad that way. The way you should be using the launch pad, one you'll probably see in this video at some point where I just build about 10 to 15 ramps high, use the launch pad, and try to find an easy unsuspecting target to basically dive bomb on and kill. And the second way to use a launch pad, and probably the more effective way, is to set it up in a central point that you'll be able to visit multiple times and get multiple uses out of a single launch pad. A great example is Tilted. Like I said, it's near so many different points of interest that you can place it on top of one of the tall buildings, use it to go to an area like Loot Lake or Dusty Divot, then return back to Tilted and use it to go to a different area in the opposite direction. You can get 3 or 4 use out of that launch pad and it will cut your travel time down so much. It's like probably 10 times faster than walking from Tilted to something like Loot Lake or Dusty. And like I've stated many times in this video, if you don't get anything else from it, time is kills. So something like the launch pad, which like I said cuts your travel time down tenfold, is so important. You're gonna need to learn how to use it, and you're gonna need to make it your best friend if you want to consistently get high kill solo games. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you guys learned a lot from it. Leave a like, leave a comment, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.
Alright, come on, let's go.
Okay, sometimes, come on. Creativity is the answer. Never play on repeat. Put your spin on things.
I just need...
Hey, what's going on, guys? The video I have for you guys today, I believe, is a really interesting concept. It's something I've looked forward to making for a few days now, and I've started to see it suggested more and more in my comment section. So I decided to finally get a move on and make it once and for all. It's
I'm coming out of Tilted with 1 kill. What do you mean?
que barra y que friegue.
No, yo no voy a fregar, ya yo fregué por Shelly. Por la que le tocaba fregar. Que había un trastero. Entonces no me dan con esa vaina que ya yo fregué.
Algo que friegue y que yo me lo voy a que te mandar y que barriera.
Yo no barré sí, pero fregar no, porque ya yo fregué.
Dice que lo haga ahora, o si no te va a quitar por el PlayStation.
Eso tú lo estás diciendo. Él nunca dijo eso.
Ay, sí, lo mismo. Le va a quitar el PlayStation.
I'm trying to get a high kill. Like I have 5, okay? If I could get to 10 before it says top 5, that would be a miracle. Everybody must be. People coming from Greece. What do you mean? Spinning, spinning, spinning. Spin, spinning, spinning, spin, spin. I want to come out of Tilted with 10 kills. What do you mean? Hello. I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. I need to definitely clip that. Sorry is a Black Panther. I fell. What do you mean, brother? I fell. What do you mean, brother? I fell. They say you love me all the teleport. I only love my bed and my mom. I'm sorry. Oh God. No, don't tell me I changed. What the heck? What happened to Salty? Why Salty? I need to relax. Relax, dude. Lego. Third party, guys. Lego. Third party, guys. Slow builder. 1738. Just give me a few little moments. Black Panther will be stripped away. Why me? Look, like... I did have build. So dumb, bro. Yeah, I'd rather record in my room, quality way better. The bad thing is, I don't have the flipping thing. The freaking HDR things. You saw that? Wait, what? My pump just literally flew out. What? I never knew that does that. So that means the loot stays. The freaking loot stays. Having mindset. 5 kills, 5 freaking kills. If I don't get them, to loot faster while you're hearing those shots, you're like, oh shoot, I need to. I need to up my game and hot hot. Hit that. freaking douchebag.
So stretchy now. So guys, so like, guys.